The following podcast contains spoilers and profanity. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Half and Half podcast. I'm your host, Glem Walker, and with me as always is MarsReviews.
Hello. Fuck you. We're gonna talk about a horseman. His name was Bojack.
That's right. We're talking about Bojack Horseman, the original Netflix series.
Netflix's best shows. Or is it? I don't know. Listen to the video.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a bit about spoilers, so, I mean, it's safe to say we both recommend watching it. Alright, so Mars, what is your history with Bojack?
It was really strange because when I just looked at it from a trailer or just looking at it, it looked like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, alright, what's this fucking thing? A horseman that's like a Hollywood actor. It is like, what the fuck is this? What is this? It didn't look like good animation wise at first. So I thought okay, well, I'll just blow this shit off. And then some person said oh no, it's actually really good. It's like, what? What the fuck do you mean? I looked at and I was just too lazy and just looked at review scores and they were really poor. And I was like, oh, you're a little liar. And it's like, no, it's actually really good. And I'm like, fine, I'll check again. And I kept looking, and it's like, oh, why does it have a 100%? I guess I gotta watch this now. There's not really that much history with it. I just saw that everyone was saying oh, this is good. It's like, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched it. It was actually really good.
Yeah, my history is pretty similar to yours. I just saw the first trailer and oh, I wasn't really too interested in this, and then all of a sudden I was really bored on Netflix one day and I'm like, oh, this looks eh. So I just watched it and oh, this is actually quite nice.
This is before the whole Netflix can do no wrong kind of thing. This is before Netflix earned their keep to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is the basis. I mean, this is the coming of their shows and stuff, Orange is the New Black and House of Cards, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, now when there's a new Netflix show, everyone's inclined to give it a chance now. Back then it was oh, fucking Netflix, they make TV shows. That doesn't, what, this company that doesn't have as much money as these other companies made their own TV show? It's probably bad. All right, so Bojack Horseman is the dumbest sounding show in human history. So imagine Full House, but with a horse that plays Uncle Jesse.
It's called Horsin' Around.
Horsin' Around. And just like in reality, well, not really in reality, they're not everyone on fucking Full House became just hardcore drug addicts.
Basically, Bojack is John Stamos.
And John Stamos, I don't think he has a drug and alcohol problem, but that's what Bojack is in this one. He's a horse that drinks. He's really depressed a lot, and his career is on the shitter. And then it just gets that's the one thing I liked about Bojack. It just kept his career just kept going, progressing, getting bigger and bigger as each season.
But also his situations was getting shitty and shitty.
Yeah.
It's in the first season, he's writing a novel, and he hires a ghostwriter whom he's attracted to, and that's the whole turmoil. And then the second season, he's making a movie, but then he abandons it, and they replace. He abandons it and goes off and do other things. And the third movie is up for an Oscar. Or the third season, yeah.
He seemed happier in the first season.
I mean, he had nothing to do in the first season. Now he's got all this responsibility. I think that's why I like it. The show basically progresses as it goes on. Bojack changes so much as a character.
Yeah, and I like that they're they don't do the thing that everyone hates is when a character does something and then later on they'll just never bring it up again. Bojack consistently brings up, and you can just tell that he's oh, all the mistakes that he's made, he's still thinking about today.
And he's still making today.
He's still making today.
Alright, so how about we go through the actors of the show one by one, and we could see how you thought they did. Or and you can also give you a retrospect of the character. Alright, so first up we got Will Arnett. Bojack himself.
Will Arnett. I like Will Arnett quite a bit. He kind of looks like Bojack in real life, though. Just looking at face. Yeah, he just had. Is that an in joke in the animation, where it's he just plays Bojack? He's just a horse because Will Arnett in real life has a long fucking face. He's just a big head.
I mean, mate, I can kind of see it.
I remember. I'm pretty sure that is something because I remember someone commenting on that once. That'd be really funny if that turned out to be true.
Oh, what'd you think of him in the show?
I thought he was actually really great. I think like I know like Will Arnett has been like on a lot of shows, like in a lot of shows that I've probably already seen, but I think he actually gave a really great performance in this. Like he's really what's the word I would say? He really is great at doing being Bojack. Like he's really good at being like a charismatic, funny character, but also like, you know, when he's like depressed and saying all this shit, it doesn't come off as like being forced. Like I feel like he's actually given a believable performance.
Yeah, mine is pretty similar to yours. I think he did a very good job as Bojack, especially with the emotional scenes that happen in like the actual show.
Yeah, because like when I look at like Will Arnett and I look at some of his fucking like filmography, it is some of the worst shit I've ever seen. Like I'm just like glancing at it from like Wikipedia. All right, what's he's been in? G-Force? Fucking
Oh boy.
The Nut Job?
2.
Fuck, he's been in both of them. Damn it. Oh wait, he's the main character. Shit. So like when he was in this, I was like, oh, he can actually like act his ass off. Holy fuck. It's really cool to see like a comedy actor like actually give like serious performances sometimes.
Well, I mean, since we're on the topic, next up we have Aaron Paul. He's Todd. He's Bojack's friend or roommate.
Fucking Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. I seen his name like in the credits. And
Yeah,
like,
that's who. Yeah, he's Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad.
I just like when I see that, I just don't associate that because like I just imagine like Jesse, and I don't imagine like Todd's voice coming out of him.
I like Todd a lot. I like his personality. He's nice and cheery and gets in little fun things. And I think Paul does a really nice job at that stuff.
I liked Todd. I just didn't like. At the first, I thought he was really annoying, and then he got like better.
Yeah, he wasn't really in like he was there for the 3rd season, but he didn't really get too much attention.
No, I think that was he didn't get that much attention, probably because of reasonings with the story. Yeah, Todd was great, and I thought Aaron Paul was really great because if I never saw us in the credits, I don't think I would have like. I don't think I could ever like make a guess. Like that would never like occur. That I would be like, this is Aaron Paul.
All right, so next up we have Alison Brie. She's Diane. She's like Bojack's like ghostwriter for the 1st season.
I always like Alison Brie. Like Alison Brie is pretty good. It's pretty good. I love seeing her in like stuff like Community.
Yeah, Community's great.
And like Diane was not my favorite character, but you know, whatever. I like Allison.
She had a couple moments. I feel like when they centered on her a lot in season 1, like her family turmoil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like her relationship with Mr. Peanut Butter though.
Yeah, that is actually pretty great. That's one of the good things about Diane. One of the funnier things about Diane when I was watching the 3rd season and with like the whale character that she was like the pop star when they were like getting an abortion.
Yeah, I think it was a dolphin.
Oh yeah, Diane gets like a fucking abortion and like nothing like they just do it and like nothing else. They don't ever bring it up. Well, they bring it up like a little, but like not as much as you'd think, you know.
They spent like an episode on it, and that like she gets pregnant. They have like an episode on it. She gets an abortion immediately, and then like yeah, it's just the end of it.
I like how it just happened. Like did she actually get an abortion? Like yeah, I was like wow, holy fuck. You think that would have like some sort of like mental thing to her, but like no, it's just like oh fuck that kid.
Next we have Amy Sedaris. She did Princess Carolyn. She was like Bojack's manager. What'd you think of the actual Princess Carolyn character?
She was like really bad in the first episode, like the first couple ones. I was like, what the fuck is it? Who are you? It was just like she was just really annoying. I didn't find her like appealing at first, but as it just kept going on, I grew a tolerance.
Yeah, I feel like she definitely got better, especially the 2nd season.
That's very like ever-present thing with Bojack, where it's just like, oh, it just keeps improving, or it's just like it starts off really bad and it'll just get better. Like
yeah, I think like halfway through the 1st season, I kind of realized like, oh, this is better than like the normal stuff on TV.
I think that was for everyone. That's why when I read the reviews, like they say like, oh, the first 5 episodes were bad, and then they're like the next ones were like 100.
I like the Princess Carolyn character like after a couple episodes of season 1, especially when she starts dating the 2 kids in a trench coat.
That was a great plot line. So today I was at the stock market doing a business.
Vincent Adult Man. I think I like that a lot about Bojack's sense of humor. It's always sort of like random. It's like the things you don't expect to happen just sort of happen. Yeah. Like the artist, the author of the book Catcher in the Rye, he's still alive. He just makes a new show. It's like, oh, why are you still alive? I don't know. Let's make a TV show.
There's a lot of weird shit with Bojack. The one thing that was like really weird about Bojack is that when they have like celebrities and stuff, there'll be ones where like they have like obviously made up names because they don't want to mention the real actor, but then they'll just do it anyways.
And
like,
so, yeah, sometimes they actually get the real actors. All right, so next up, my favorite character, Paul F. Tompkins. He played Mr. Peanut Butter.
Oh fuck! If that's Mr. Peanut Butter is great. He's such a shit character in the start, and then he just gets like, I don't understand why, but he just gets more likable as
he in the first episode he's just portrayed as like, oh, he's the asshole character who's like, oh, but he's nice to everyone, so he's like, you know, he's a Hollywood asshole but that Bojack hates, but like as it goes on it's like, no, he's just a genuinely nice person.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. Bojack is such like a fucking jaded piece of shit that he hates this really nice guy for no reason whatsoever, for being nice. A little bit too nice, but like nice.
I love the Mr. Peanut Butter character.
Alright, season 1.
Everyone's favorite season.
Glem, what's your thoughts on season 1?
Season 1 starts off kind of like not impressive. It's more like, oh, this is kind of like a weird sort of like, it's like Family Guy, but it's like but smarter than that. So like kind of starts as like a normal like sitcom, like, oh, there's some nice little situational humor, Bojack's getting into some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like season 1 doesn't really take off until like near the halfway point, when Bojack meets like his old friend whom he used to work with, who's like dying of cancer, and like that's when like, oh wow, this show like is doing some stuff differently. Yeah,
like that thing, like, it just sounds like, oh, he has cancer. It's like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Why does he have cancer?
Why is this in this show?
Where am I? This is it, Family Guy.
But yeah, season 1's definitely kind of like one of the weaker ones at first, because like, you know, all this situational stuff with like Ty and stuff is like, oh, it feels like a normal like sitcom, like you would like sit down and watch on like ABC or something.
Like, wasn't like one of the main complaints with season 1 was that like Todd's bullshit was actually like entailed in like the main plot instead of just like later on just being his own sub thing?
I think they did do that a couple times, yeah, because like I remember like there were a couple episodes, nothing too drastic, but like sort of like, oh, episodes would happen and like the characters get mixed up in like Todd's bullshit.
Yeah, that's why the later seasons are better, because Todd's shit
he fucking creates Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's all like disheveled and shitty, and it falls apart and people almost die.
It's like the real Disneyland.
This is actual Disneyland. I created it by myself.
It's like the real Disney World. Fucking Disney. Oh fuck, something fell. But Disney World sucks. Like, I know this is not the podcast, but I gotta get this out again. Fucking right. Disney World sucks ass. Jesus Christ. It's so fucking hot. And people in the comments of my last video was like, Mars, you're a fucking idiot. Why you go on vacation in the summer? It's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to go in the fucking winter and just like go to Disney World? Oh, I'm not supposed to go to Disney World in the summer like a fucking regular human?
Why'd you go to Splash Mountain in the summer?
Why did you go to a water park in the summer if you know the best time to go is in the winter when there's no lines, you dumbass? I hate that. I hate that comment. Pissed me off. You know who you are.
That was Mars' little vent about Disneyland. Alright.
Yeah, season 1 just like starts off just really like, I wouldn't even say like bad. I would just say like nothing. It's just mediocre. It's nothing happens in the first like, what would you say, like 5, 6?
I'd say around like maybe 5, 4, around there. I think the first couple, it's definitely like the first 2. I think the first one episode's actually really good, but I because I watched it like in preparation for this, I'd be like, oh, I might as well watch the first one. Well, I think it's pretty good.
Which one would you say is the best one? 2?
I like season 2 a lot.
I think season 2 is stronger.
It also tries some new things differently. Like Bojack gets like a girlfriend who has amnesia, but she's like 50 years old.
That was great.
She's an owl.
Yeah, she was like an owl, and like
She was a pretty good character, but like Bojack was trying like not to feel any emotions for her, so he like pretends to have like autoerotic asphyxiation. He sets up like a whole thing in his bedroom. It's like, oh, because you're like 1,000 pounds, we need this whole pulley system so because you're a horse. I actually like that a lot in the show. Like the animals are like kind of like proportional, like not too much though.
Yeah, like
Bojack actually weighs 1,000 pounds.
Like Bojack doesn't look like in the show. He doesn't look like he weighs 1,000 pounds, but he does. Like it just kind of like when you think about that like thing, he's like, oh my god, he has a sex with like actual humans. Like that sounds terrible.
It's also kind of weird because like humans and animals can also breed together.
Yeah, I don't remember, but they don't remember them like going into like real depth about like how like the world works, like how did animals like walk and talk and shit.
Yeah, I don't think it's important.
It's not important, but it was something I would like to explore though.
It's nice to like see the little touches. Like there's a whole underwater city where the fish live.
That episode was great, but it kind of pissed me off at the end, where like he could like talk with the little button.
Yeah, but like no one told him beforehand.
Yeah, no one told him beforehand, and the bitch he was talking to was like, "Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you just go like beep and go like, hey, what's up? Like, did you not know that too? Did it not tell you this when they give you a helmet?"
Yeah, I do like the little like subplots here and there. Like in season 2, there's this little thing where they go to like a chicken farm where they actually like kill chickens for food, but they're like anthropomorphic. It's really, they have like emotions, and it's like really, it's like they're basically slaves. And like no one really questions that.
I feel like if we questioned the world of Bojack, it'd be really fucked up. Like when we just like, there'd be like when you just eat anything, it would just be like a big social issue. It's like, you were eating chickens. You hate chickens. Chicken lives matter. It's like, what? I'm just eating chicken.
Also, like the reoccurring stuff that like pays off later on. There's a whole subplot in season 3 where Mr. Peanut Butter has like a bunch of spaghetti holders. He's like, what can I do with all these?
And then the season finale happened.
And there's like a big wave of spaghetti coming. He's like, what are we gonna do with all the spaghetti? I know what to do.
Call Mr. Peanut Butter. We need you. Yeah, Bojack had a girlfriend. It was actually
he had a girlfriend. He was working on a movie.
Working on a movie that
for the Secretariat movie.
That lady keeps getting cucked every time. That fucking ugly director lady just keeps getting cucked every time.
Yeah, the director of the film Bojack's working on. He's working on a Secretariat movie, and the director he's working with, like, they get into some sort of antics where like they break into like a replica of the White House to get a shot of with him and Nixon.
It's not even like, is it like they were like, what was it, like an actual like recreation, or just like a small little replica of the White House?
It was a small little replica. They didn't break into the White House.
The first season, and just overall, it doesn't look impressive. Like the animation just kind of looks like standard shit. But especially on characters like Diane, where she looks like really awful.
Yeah, she could have looked a little bit better.
But like, there's some good things. Like I like how like some of the horses and like not horses, just like animals look.
And I like the animal designs a lot.
Yeah, I like how like this one thing on like Bojack and Mr. Peanut Butter. You know, like in Chowder, where they have like that how they color them with like what looks like wallpaper
with layers and stuff like that. But it moves like it doesn't move at all. But they move. I feel
like that's like, I don't know if this is for sure, but it kind of like I get that kind of thing when I see like this like texture of Bojack and like Mr. Peanut Butter.
I can definitely see that a lot.
That was cool.
I love the intro to Bojack, especially. I love how it keeps changing like more as the seasons go.
The next one's just gonna be him drinking himself into a grave.
Oh, it may or may not happen. Season 4 is on the way.
But I like how like in Bojack like it just doesn't look great, but like there's just moments where the animations is like, what, holy shit, damn, this is actually like awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, I like the part in season 3, not season 2, when he's on the boat coming back to LA.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
The animator that did that scene, you deserve like a raise.
Mars puts his thumbs up.
You get like 2 extra pennies.
What do you think of the whole plot of BoJack, like him going into turmoil and like meeting like his old friend who was a deer.
Oh, that was that was like heartbreaking. That was just sad. Like that's how that ended. It was like, oh no. When I didn't even know anything about that. I was like, this is gonna end horribly, isn't it? And it just did. It ended in the most horrible fashion I could ever think of.
He almost had sex with a minor.
I'm sorry.
You can't really go that lower than that.
I have a severe drinking problem.
They don't really comment on it until like the end of season 3.
That's like I'm surprised she didn't press charges.
I mean, BoJack was. I mean, yeah, that would basically ruin BoJack though. Because yeah, they mentioned it at the beginning of season 3, but like, oh, like what are you talking about? Who's this girl?
I wonder if that will ever be brought back up in the season 4 because they
probably
met, because spoiler, they met in like the later episodes of season 3, and they took pictures of like people on her campus. What if her parents find out like BoJack was at my daughter's campus? What are they gonna do after that?
That's not gonna feel bode too well. All right, so you just saw season 3, Mars. What'd you think about it?
Season 3, I like 2 better, but I thought season 3 was pretty good. I just had like a real big. The reason I say I like season 2 better is because I like marathoned it, and season 3, like I don't know why I just stopped in the middle for some reason. I don't understand.
I'll never know.
I just felt like there's more like the sadder parts of 2 are like more powerful than anything 3 did.
I think 3. I think the ending of 3 is very powerful. But we mentioned like BoJack had a show, was horsing around, and like we constantly see this character Sarah Lynn, who's like this drug-addled like teen pop girl.
Mabel from
and
Gravity
she's
Falls.
like, but she's like 27 or 23. She's like 23, but she's like acting like she's like 16.
Actually, she's 31.
Wait, is she? I don't even. Oh yeah, yeah.
She was like, when I was like, oh yeah, this Carrot, what's her name? Lynn?
Sarah Lynn.
Sarah Lynn died at the age of 31. And it's like, oh damn.
But yeah, because she did like a big drug bender with BoJack. Yeah, she helped BoJack like track down the girl he almost had sex with, the minor he almost had sex with, and like, oh, why'd she react so poorly when you met her again?
That was a good episode because of like how it was like edited, like how BoJack would just come in and out of consciousness, and it would just be at random intervals.
And also there's like a whole like moment where he's like tripping out and like the style changes. Like
yeah, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one to like see that. It was like, wait a minute, what? Why does it look different from every other thing in the show?
Like at one point he's like talking to Diane, but she's like Lucy from the Peanuts. But yeah, no, I think that was pretty well done the way they handled like her death, because like it makes sense because she's like eating cocaine from the drywall.
Yeah, like she's like, oh yeah, oh look at these, here have a candy. Like, what is this, Vicodin?
I've been sober for like the past 3 months. The drywall is made of cocaine.
Like, oh no, that's actual drywall. I like how she was like, oh yeah, I'm completely sober, because I heard when like you're sober, when you go back to drugs, it's like amazing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not wrong.
I like how the character is literally just Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, I like that character a lot. She was voiced by Mabel.
I love all this Mabel shit where like, cause she doesn't do any other voice. It's just Mabel. So like, it's just like I just hear Mabel
and like
Louise.
Yeah, Louise.
There's actually like an Easter egg in like I saw like in the background where like BoJack and like Sarah Lynn are like sitting in the background, not in the background, sitting at the beach on the bench, and like I just see this little character with like bunny ears is walking shittily in the background. That was cool. Yeah. But I like how like, she doesn't do any other voice. It's like, you know, like how the guy Patrick Warburton, like he does like Joe Swanson.
But because that is his voice, it's both their voices. That's just how they speak.
I know, but like
it makes for a good character.
I know, but when I hear her, I hear Mabel, and I just see like Mabel talking. Like Mabel's like, the wall's made out of cocaine.
Yeah, she's very good at playing like exaggerated, expressional characters.
This is also something to do with Patrick Warburton. When we were at Disney World, there's this ride. It's called Soarin', and like the host of it is actually Patrick Warburton, and some little kid like on the side, he was like, "Mommy, that sounds like Joe from Family Guy."
It's basically Bojack up to this point. Season 4 is about to come out, and so what do you think's gonna happen there?
I think like Bojack goes to rehab or something. I think a better thing will be that he'll go into a grief counselor, and then like he'll fall in love with her, and then like they'll have like turmoil and shit, and then Todd's just gonna do some bullshit still.
I mean, I'd be pretty interested to see how Bojack reacts to having a daughter, because like that was a big thing at the end.
It'll be like Bojack has a daughter, Owl Girl come back, he'll go to a grief counselor.
Alright, so thank you guys for watching the Half and Half podcast. I'm your host, Glem Walker, and with me, as always, is MarsReviews.
Fuck you, kids.
Okay? So yeah, just let us know what you thought of Bojack in the comments, or, leave us some questions, or we might answer it in the next one. Alright, so see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.